But now you're also a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization too, right?
Exactly.
So just like those
Democrats,
of us, right?
Just like Republicans.
Yeah, well, just like the NAACP, we are
Exactly.
a nonpartisan nonprofit. So when we register the voters, and we can't make people register a particular way. You just ask to register to vote.
No.
Right.
And for us, people try to say, well, most of those poor black and brown people, they usually vote Democratic. I think that was the really scary thing to the right.
Sure, of course it is.
To the Republicans.
Of course
they were
it is.
like, if you enfranchise folks that we have systematically disenfranchised, if we can't practice voter suppression with impunity like we have done in Florida, then this group that would in fact move over 1 million black and brown folks, no, you're upsetting the balance of power. And this is what it really comes down to.
Yeah,
and this is why they fear us.
Right.
And want to destroy us.
Right.
Because we are not just trying to empower, we are trying to organize poor people to take power.
Now, let me just also point out, you all are also no strangers to these charges of voter fraud. In 2004, Attorney General John Ashcroft, I understand, targeted ACORN, and in some states, I think including Florida, Missouri, Ohio, and New Mexico, the Republicans filed suit against ACORN for voter fraud. In each of those cases, ACORN was exonerated, I believe. ACORN has always been exonerated when voter fraud has been charged. You've never, no charge has ever stuck on voter fraud, correct?
Well, exactly, because here's the deal. They finally had to say, well, maybe it was voter registration fraud. But even that didn't stick because just a few weeks ago, Karl Rove's emails were revealed. And in it was revealed that Karl Rove and the Bush administration had a political agenda. And in New Mexico, for instance, the right was trying to go after some Democratic lawmakers and get them for, campaign finance, something. And the number 2 issue, go after ACORN and get us something to prove that they're committing voter fraud. David Iglesias.
Right, who was a New Mexico U.S. Attorney, David Iglesias, right?
There you go. He came back time and time again and said, there's no there. ACORN is not committing fraud. There's no evidence to that. In fact, ACORN is turning in employees who they suspect of committing fraud. He was told, bring us the head of ACORN. He said, I cannot and will not do it. This is political. He was fired. And then a whole series of 7 other U.S. attorneys were fired. This led to eventually bringing down Alberto Gonzalez because it was proved that this was political. We have Karl Rove's emails saying specifically, go after ACORN.
Now, and if I'm not mistaken, Iglesias was just renominated by President Obama. So, you know that they're upset about that. So that, that's just another thing that they're going to try to, bring some relationship to. 866-99-SERIOUS. I want to get some calls, but before we do that, this issue of the census, is it true that the Congress decided or voted somehow or put in some resolution that ACORN can no longer take part in the census, particularly in 2010? And isn't that also another agenda of the right to be sure that there's not an effective census, and ACORN can help to provide an effective census as it has in the past?
Well, there you go. again, 10,000 organizations across the country. Practically every community group, people that work in neighborhoods. The Census Bureau sent out a form and said, hey, would you like to be a partner and help us? Put some posters in your windows, give out our flyers, encourage people in your community, just like they have those little public service commercials.
Sure.
That was it. We had no contract with the Census Bureau. We weren't getting paid by the Census Bureau. We have enough work to do. However, in the right-wing echo chamber, it was put out there, they stole the election, they could steal the census. And so when you begin to have a McCarthyite atmosphere, do not associate with this group. You will be harmed, just as we are trying to harm them. It sends a chilling effect throughout, especially Washington, D.C. And the Census Bureau decided it was politically expedient for them to write a letter saying, we don't want any association with ACORN. Well, guess what? You didn't have a contract with us. It was a little over the top. But you know what? Doesn't matter. We're still going to encourage our members, other poor people in our communities, to make sure that they get counted.
And it's the poor and the black and the brown that are often undercounted. ACORN can help the poor, black, and brown be counted, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want the poor, black, and brown counted.
Well, why not? And here's why. If you can mount a campaign in 2009 to discredit, destroy, cripple, even the largest organization of black and brown folks in this country, who have for 40 years been known to be effective on the ground, organizing grassroots folks, that we would have been extremely effective making sure that black and brown people are counted. If you count everyone that you possibly can, you know what? The complexion of America's political power changes.
It affects redistricting, congressional districts, everything.
There's the money, honey.
Yeah, there it is.
Because lines change, districts change. That will determine whether people draw a gerrymandered district in which they can be safe in power, or whether or not maybe we are a majority-minority country already.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.